The story that came out tonight, as reported, is false. And I was in the room. It didn't happen.
That was General McMaster coming out of the Oval Office and talking to reporters, reading a prepared statement, disagreeing with the Washington Post story. Trey Hardin, ABC News political analyst. I'll just throw the ball up. What is going through your mind as you watch the last 24 hours?
I'd tell you, McGraw, I mean, it would just be nice to have one day without a crisis that is self-inflicted or created by this president and the people around him. I feel like every week that you and I are talking about just some surreal, unexplainable, indefensible act or behavior from from the most powerful man in the world that we talk about each week. So it is mind-boggling. But whether he, the president has a lot of powers and authority to do whatever he wants. So whether he did that, actually shared classified information with them because he thought it was a strategic move to help bring the Russians closer or help the relationship, I guess he's certainly entitled to do that because he's probably the only person who has that authority to do it. Should he have done that? I don't think anyone agrees that he should have. And I just think, McGraw, we are at a point where it is a personality flaw that is proving he is very unfit for this office, and it's just becoming almost regular order that we're talking about it.
So the Washington Post says that he gave the Russians information that, it's almost like a game of he said, she said, right? We have information. We don't want to tell them how we got it, but you don't want to tell them the information because then they'll figure out how we got it. So we told them information according to the story. The White House denies we told them how we got it. So it seems like the White House is denying a story which the Washington Post isn't alleging.
Well, right, and that's the problem. When you listen, I mean, it's just patterns of behavior. I think we all know, we've seen enough of it, that when you are doing something wrong, you're going to end up tripping over yourself in the explanation and the denials. When you know that you've done something wrong, you're going to over-spin it, over-explain it, and that's clearly what's going on yesterday. Notice how we haven't heard one person from the White House say he did not share unclassified information, with the Russian government. They put different spins on it, saying that we did not talk about methods or operations. They didn't come out and say the specific words that I think everyone wants to hear. Again, this is just, I think we all can picture Donald Trump sitting in a room with two powerful Russian individuals who are masters at playing people. They are longtime career spies themselves, and they are essentially walk him into him bragging about what he knows and about how great the intelligence he has and how he wants to throw them a bone to share it with them. I think we can see him doing that. That's the scary part.
One of the interesting things about this is the Washington Post reported in their story, we're not revealing the information because that might cause more harm at the request of the White House and the intelligence community. So the White House is keeping this, or the Washington Post is keeping this information a secret where the White House and Donald Trump didn't keep it a secret.
Well, it's true, and this is one area where you could argue that the media is being sloppy and potentially harmful to the American people as well, although if this is a significant breach, then it's certainly, you can understand on the same side why the media is entitled and should maybe report it to the American people. But there is no question that the White House immediately went into damage control. But I can tell you from the many friends and contacts that I have working over there that frankly are about to leave, this is almost daily where he will have a meeting with someone, even ones that haven't been that publicized, and just open his mouth and say things that they are having to spend hours upon hours immediately afterwards tamping out the flames and reversing, trying to get what he said reversed, or to clarify it. I mean, the man literally is doing this all on his own, and it's like he's essentially playing some game of real estate or Monopoly in Trump Tower, or playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons in his basement.
Trey Hardin, there are only a number of people in the room. How does something like this leak out if it's his closest advisors? How does that happen?
That's because I think the people that are in the room or around the room are very fed up, and they want him to. They want to create a scenario where he resigns and Mike Pence becomes president. I will tell you, I am one of those people as well. There's nothing more I want than a Republican in the White House and a Republican control the House and Senate so that we can do some good things in this country. But this guy just has to go, and we need to replace him with Mike Pence. And I think that that's what the staffers are doing too. And you and I have talked about this before, McGraw. The intel community is a very powerful force that you do not mess with. If you take them on, or you defy them, or you betray them, they will get you back badly in the media, because they operate that way. They have the ability, they have the media relationships, and they know so much that it is hard to think that you can have the upper hand on them like Trump seriously seems to think he does with them.
Tell your contacts inside of the White House to stick around, because we like the information.
I will do.
Trey Hardin, ABC News. Thanks for checking in.
You got it. Bye-bye.
626, Big 550 KTRS. Even the most ardent Trump supporter has to ask themselves the question, why will you not shake Angela Merkel's hand? Why will you call Canada an enemy? Why will you despise Mexico? And ally after ally after ally, you'll badmouth, you'll criticize, whether it's John McCain, whether it's a Gold Star family, whether it's you name it, the list goes on. Everybody is terrible except the Russians.
I know.
You have to ask yourself, it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
It just doesn't make any sense. And Russia is not on the same side of fighting ISIS. They're with Syria.
Yeah.
They're fighting the rebels in Syria. We're fighting ISIS in Syria. And so we're on the opposite sides of many of these conflicts. And it's just really quite
extremely troubling.
It is unbelievable what we're watching.
And
it's unbelievable. You can't.
I even think, and I'm just comparing it because he was our most recent president. If President Obama did a fourth of what Trump has been doing,
well, I mean,
it would just be complete outrage.
Look at the correct criticism towards Hillary with the handling of the unclassified with the classified email server.
That's like almost nothing compared to.
And if what they say, if this is what actually happened, it's as many Republicans are now coming out saying, really hard to believe. It really is just hard to believe, almost like to the point where you're like, I don't believe it.
That's why when I came in this morning, I'm like, really? I can't believe that really
okay,
happened.
now you're really making it up.
Yes. This is not real.
629,